I'm Neil, and I'm the teacher.
And I'm Sean, and I'm the deal maker.
Together, we're the Rise Guys.
Welcome back to the Rise Weekly webinar. I am Neil Fawcett. Today we are dissecting a $30,000 disaster that hits Alberta first-time buyers all the time. The unpermitted basement renovation. Let us dive in. Welcome to a highly urgent real estate explainer where we are going to dissect a literal financial nightmare, one that could cost your clients thousands and completely ruin your career before it even begins. If you're studying for your RECA exams here in Alberta, pay close attention. Today we are talking about unpermitted renovations and the absolute disaster they can cause. Take a look at this number, $30,000. That is not some record-breaking commission check. This is the devastating, gut-wrenching estimated cost of a municipal teardown and restoration order on a young couple's very first home. And frankly, it happens way more often than you might think. Picture this. Your buyer walks in and they absolutely fall in love with a beautifully developed basement. Crisp new flooring, a modern kitchenette, an extra bedroom, a pristine bathroom, the whole shebang. The seller renovated it 2 years ago, but they decided to skip the paperwork and never pull a building permit. 6 months after closing, the city issues a teardown order requiring your buyer to rip the unpermitted work all the way down to the studs. Suddenly, they're on the hook for a massive demolition and reconstruction bill. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, well, caveat emptor, right? Buyer beware, that protects me. Scratch that. When it comes to unpermitted renovations, relying on caveat emptor means you are walking straight into a massive legal trap. Whether you're representing the buyer or the seller, RECA rules place a huge burden of due diligence squarely on your shoulders. The obligation lands on you regardless of which side of the deal you are on. Willful ignorance is not a defense in front of RECA. Here is where it turns into a total regulatory nightmare. Under RECA rules, unpermitted work is classified as a material latent defect. The absolutely crucial point is understanding the two prongs of this definition. First, it is latent, meaning hidden. You literally cannot see a permit history just by walking through a property and looking at the drywall. Second, it is material. This means it impacts safety, value, or here's the kicker, it involves a great expense to remedy because of future enforcement risks from the local authority. This brilliantly illustrates the formula you absolutely must memorize for your exam and your entire career. Hidden from view plus future enforcement risk equals mandatory disclosure. When both elements are met, RECA rules strictly dictate that it is a material latent defect. And when you have one of those, mandatory disclosure is required to all parties, regardless of who you represent. Let us break this down by representation, starting with the seller side. If you are the listing agent, your main duty is to proactively protect the transaction. You have to practice active inquiry. You must ask the seller about recent renovations and permits in writing before listing the property. You cannot just take the seller's word for it if things look suspiciously new. And if you do discover unpermitted work, you must disclose it to every single potential buyer. If your seller tells you to hide the truth, RECA rules are crystal clear here. You must refuse to provide further services to that client. You literally have to walk away. Active inquiry is not just a friendly suggestion. It is literally baked right into your paperwork. The exclusive seller representation agreement explicitly demands you ask, do you know of any lack of permits for any development on the property? This is a mandatory documented step before you ever put a sign out on that lawn. Now, on the flip side, what if you represent the buyer? Your job is risk mitigation. How do you prevent your client from inheriting someone else's unpermitted disaster? Your checklist is your absolute shield. First, always ask the listing agent about recent renovations. Second, request a municipal permit history search before removing any conditions. Third, write protective conditions straight into the contract that require proof of permits. Fourth, demand a current real property report or RPR with a municipal compliance stamp or letter. Honestly, never let your client waive their right to municipal compliance without fully educating them on the massive financial risks they are taking. You also need to pair those contract conditions with RECA's property inspection request form. Ensure your clients are fully educated on the types of inspections available. This proves what a reasonable professional would do. It guarantees your client is informed and your due diligence is flawlessly documented right there in your brokerage file. So if we want to prevent this teardown disaster, whether you represent the buyer or the seller, follow these 3 steps. 1 in line, look past the fresh paint and the nice staging. Beautiful finishing work hides risk. Permits are the proof, not the finish. 2, demand the municipal paperwork, permit history search, compliance letter, real property report. Add proof of permits conditions to the offer before removing subjects. 3, document absolutely all of your due diligence in writing. Every conversation, every disclosure, every recommendation goes in the file because, as the saying goes, if it is not in writing in the eyes of the regulator, it simply did not happen. As you gear up for your exams and your future career in Alberta real estate, ask yourself this on your next deal. Are you truly protecting your client with rigorous documented due diligence? Or are you leaving a $30,000 time bomb ticking in the basement, hoping the city never comes knocking? Think about that. And I will catch you in the next explainer. New webinar summary every week. Subscribe so you never miss one.